that it does go live. Alrighty, so we are officially live, and my clock has just come in and told me I should be live. So hopefully I am over in Facebook. I'm just going to head on over there. If you are in the Cafinnated community group at the moment and you can see us, then please do let us know if you can hear us and see us okay. I can see that the video is there, and yes, and I can hear myself. So we seem to be live. Hold on. There we go. Alrighty, so I'm super excited about today's conversation with Lois Wagner. This is our second Caffeinated Q&A, and I'm so grateful that you are here with us on this live chat, Lois. How are you doing?
Yeah, this is great. I think your concept is really exciting. So yeah, I'm very pleased to be here.
Awesome, thank you. And I can see that we've got a couple of viewers jumping on now that are watching. Hi, Anne. Can you let us know if you can hear us and see us okay? Hi, Frida. Yay, Frida from last week is watching as well. If you girls could just let us know if you can hear us and see us okay before we jump into this crazy conversation. Hi, Sunena. Good to see you. Let us know if you can hear us and see us okay. That would be fabulous, because I want to get Lois to introduce herself, and I don't want you to miss it if you can't hear it. So let us know. All good, all good. Okay, great. So we've got the green light, Lois. If you could, before we step into the fun part of this conversation and all the crazy questions, could you give us a brief intro as to who you are and what you do and where people can find you?
Well, who I am, I'm 66 years old. So if you want, there's nothing brief about what I do.
Lots of experience.
Okay, I help people move from victim to survivor to thriver and beyond to freedom using resilience, grit, and forgiveness. So I've moved out of the corporate world into the personal development world, and I help people who faced some kind of personal or business challenge or adversity. And I use the acronym SMILE to describe what I do. So the S is storytelling and speaking. The M is mentoring. The I is inspiring. L is learning, facilitation. I train. And the E is empowering using coaching. I'm a certified conversational intelligence coach.
That is amazing. I love that. Really does put a smile on your face hearing that. And where can people find you online?
Well, the easiest you can Lois Wagner coaching, but the easiest to remember is Walking Without Skin. So both on Facebook and on the webpage, Walking Without Skin. That is my personal development transformational page.
Okay, and what's the story behind that name?
Wow, that story goes back 25 or so years, and it goes back to I was brutally attacked, raped, and left for dead. And I started writing. And I started writing a journal from day one with the intention of publishing it under that name.
My goodness. Wow. Talk about empowering, like just and walking your talk. Well, that excites me to learn so much more about you in our fun coffee conversation right now. And so for those of you, before we get into this, if you haven't watched this before, and I just by that intro alone, I think you are going to be glued to your seat listening to what Lois has to share with us today. But how this is going to work, so we have 25 questions, and the duration of, we're likely not going to get through all 25 questions, but the duration of this conversation is going to coincide with a coffee. So we have our coffee. You've got your coffee with you there, Lois, right? You said you're a quick coffee drinker, and so here
Yes,
I come.
I drink my hot coffee very fast.
Okay. Well, I'm a bit of a slow drinker, and especially when it is this big. The other day, my dad was saying, "Is that a soup bowl or is that a coffee cup?" So yeah, I've got my soup bowl of coffee here. So this conversation is going to last the duration of this coffee, and the 25 questions that we've got, they are on a spinning wheel. So we have the 25 questions here. We're going to spin the wheel every time to find out what question you can answer for us today. So who knows what's going to come up, and this is totally unprepared. And what I love about this is because then there is no scripting of anything. It's just what's real for you right now. And for me, that's what's most inspiring. So are you ready, Lois?
I am ready with a little bit of nervousness.
Nothing to worry about. Okay, so I'm going to spin the wheel and let's get the first question. Content. So the three pillars of this conversation, what all these questions relate to, is business, it is your personal brand, and your personal confidence. And so this one is relating to your personal brand. So the question is, what topics do you generally write about in your blogs, newsletters, and social media?
All right, that's so easy because at the moment I'm focusing very much on getting resilience and grit and forgiveness. The big thing is forgiveness. I really want people to learn how to forgive.
Wow.
Whatever it is that they've faced in their lives, and also to forgive themselves. So I focus a lot, most of my energy is on forgiveness.
That's so beautiful, and I think that's such a big topic to unpack. And your personal journey, I'm sure that has been one that has centered around forgiveness in a huge way.
Well, I was, after the law changed in 2007, I was the first person in South Africa to attend a parole hearing when victims, as they call it, were allowed to attend parole hearings, and I forgave the rapist.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. I've got chills.
So that is, it's just the most freeing thing I have ever done in my life. I can't even begin to explain or describe that feeling.
My goodness. It's so interesting as well, because oftentimes I think where people get hung up, and I'm sure you've probably answered this question many times around forgiveness, is that it is, people get confused, but then you're condoning the behavior. If you forgive somebody, you're condoning, you're saying it's okay that they did what they did. How do you manage that?
Yeah, it's just really letting people understand that, you're bound to that situation or to that person when you don't forgive. They've gone on with their lives. They've probably even forgotten what they did to you or how they harmed you. So you are sitting with that angst and that pain and that fear or depression, whatever it is. So all forgiveness does, it breaks that bond. It breaks that tie and sets you free.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. I know that somebody watching this live right now or watching the recording, that right there was the thing they needed to hear today. Thank you so much for sharing that. Wow.
You're welcome.
Sure. Okay. How's that for like a starter question, everybody? Hey. So I'm going to show you some of the questions that are, or the comments that are coming up on the feed as well. Just some of the comments that we're getting. So Sonia from Creating Space saying forgiveness is so important. Forgiveness is for you, not for the other person. Wow, Lois, I do love the name too. They love your name. Fantastic. Okie dokie. So let's go on to question number 2. So each time we ask a question, we hide that one so that it is out of the loop so that we don't get it again. So we're down to the next one. So next question. Character. Okay. So the question for character is, if you were a superhero or a cartoon character, what would your costume look like And what would your name be?
Oh, wow. I think it'll just be Lois because I'm a superwoman. I think if I had to
Love that.
yeah, I'm bold and brave and out there, and I'm a risk taker, and I help people, and yeah. So
You are.
I think maybe Wonder Woman, although I don't like superheroes per se, but I fly free.
Absolutely.
And I'm big and bold.
Beautiful. I love that. You are your own superhero. Fantastic. Okay. Next one. So current. So this question is, let's see here. What are you currently working on or offering? What's your big thing right now?
These questions are actually quite easy. I'm busy I'm putting my book to bed as we speak. I've just had it edited. I'm busy designing, or I'm busy. The most difficult part now is choosing a cover. I put it out in a competition, and I've got over 50 designs to choose from, and
Wow.
I am so conflicted as to which one to go for. So if anybody else there wants to come and vote and look at my pictures, please go to my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page. I'll also post it on the Walking Without Screen Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got to choose basically today. I have to choose. I choose 6. It's a fabulous competition. So I choose 6, and then they can each go and refine their designs. And then from those 6, I choose one. It's a fantastic concept, 99 designs. And you pay a fee up front, and then you just put it out there. And as I say, I've got over 50 designs, and
That's amazing. Wow. Okay, and so that's happening today. You have to. Okay, so we will be sure to head on over to your Facebook page. So it's the same Walking Without Skin Facebook. Okay, and then we'll go and vote for you to help you make your decision. And are you self-publishing?
I am. Yeah, I've got to decide now. I've done the editing. I've got to find a typesetter and just make those final choices. I'm very nervous to take this final step.
Okay, and when are you hoping to launch the final book?
I want it to come out, if it's possible, by the beginning of November, so that it's ready. So that it's ready for the 16 days of activism, which starts in the second week of November. I want to pre-launch it because it's so topical, and
timing is perfect. Oh my goodness, that's so exciting! That's so exciting. And do you have any like pre-sales of the book at all, or?
I haven't got there yet. I've just been so busy doing the content.
Okay, well, we're super excited for you.
This coming week is putting it all together.
Okay, that is an amazing topic or current project that you're working on. Fantastic. How long have you been working on the book? How long have you been writing it?
26 years.
Okay.
I started writing it as a journal the day I was raped. Wow. And with the intention, because I was raped, it's a long time ago now, and nobody ever heard of, rape wasn't a topic that people spoke about. The only person that anybody ever knew about was Alison. I don't know if you all remember Alison.
Yes. Yeah.
Her story was so terrible. And she was front page news. So when I came along a year later, it was like, this doesn't happen to, it's either some poor person who's walking the streets at night, or it's something as atrocious as Alison. It doesn't happen to ordinary, everyday people.
Yeah.
And so I decided right from the beginning I was going to write, and I started a journal, and it just
wow.
And it's time.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. My goodness. Well, I'm looking forward to reading your book when it is out. I'll be front and center buying that.
Amazing. Thank you.
Awesome. Okie dokes. Let's go for the next one. So it is crush. So this question asks, which impact maker women's ripples are you currently crushing on and why? So what woman in the world is inspiring you with the work that she does?
Well, I think there's two women. One is my niece, she's a corporate trainer and coach, and she's just a role model for me. She's just truly amazing. And the other is a social media person that I follow, a lady called Molly Mahoney.
Okay.
She runs a Facebook group called Camera Confidence.
Oh, beautiful.
I joined her when I first decided to go this route, long before lockdown. I found her somehow on social media, and she's just a dynamic whiz ball, and she's just amazing. And so I've been following her, and I've joined her group, and there's just so much learning. She's just out there.
Awesome. That is so good. And have you found that getting more confident on camera has helped you in your journey?
Well, it's not so much the confidence on or competency on camera. I think I'm okay. It's just the technology and some little tips and advice and guidance on what to do and how often to do it and where and when. So it's just an amazing. She covers everything, focusing mostly on Facebook, but also other social media and what have you. So just so much to learn.
Yeah. Constantly. The learning never stops. So Molly Mahoney. Mahoney. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okie dokes. So the next one. See here. And it says curiosity. So the question for curiosity is, what fascinates you? What burning questions continue to stoke your curiosity?
Thousands of questions.
Thousands.
But I think one that's just so topical at the moment is, why don't people learn the lessons? We just take COVID. People go out without wearing masks, and people just don't seem to learn the lessons. The earth was healing itself, and the fish were coming back, and everything. And then you go out. People have had a picnic and they just leave their rubbish on the ground, and what are they not learning? And it's so frustrating. And also just the health. My brother-in-law passed last month from COVID-related complications. And it's just, I'm terrified to be in contact with people as a result, and people are just not learning. You see them interacting, and it's just sad. And as I say, the refuse and the rubbish that people leave behind. Please, guys, let's change this world. Let's keep learning how to make the world a better place.
Yeah, absolutely. And think beyond just ourselves and think about everybody else that is impacted by our own behaviors. I'm totally on board with that one in a huge way. Why don't we learn? Why don't we change our behaviors? Yeah.
I'm guilty of that as well, in another way, in that I have had patterns, negative patterns in my life, and I repeat those negative patterns. So I haven't always learned my own lessons.
Yeah, it's human nature, isn't it? It's human nature. What do you think is the defining? Is there a defining shift that has to happen to ensure that behavior does change once and for all? And I would love to hear from other people's opinions as well in the comments if you've got an opinion.
No, it's recognizing that you are repeating a pattern, that you are not changing, and that's the first thing. Self-awareness, and a lot of work I do starts with self-awareness. If you don't know, I do a little exercise usually when I start a coaching assignment on self-awareness, and often they don't come back to me because they get their answers from the exercise. because that is what it's about. When you know yourself and you understand yourself, then you can fix those things that need fixing. So.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. It does it. And the awareness, so not then only of yourself, but the awareness of the impact of your behavior on others, like how it actually impacts the planet and how it actually impacts somebody down the line. Yeah,
Absolutely.
so true. So true. Okie doke. So next one. We're doing well here. You're getting through these questions really well. Okay, so this is a question outwardly. So this is your opportunity, your turn to ask a question of the audience. What question would you ask of the audience right now to consider?
What are you battling to forgive? What can't you forgive?
Sure, that's a can of worms question. If anybody feels the pull to answer in the comments below, please go ahead, and Lois will gladly, I'm sure, help you if you've got something there. And even if you wanted to reach out to Lois after the fact, if you don't want to share, or just if you've got a thought or an opinion that came up in response to that question. So what are you struggling to forgive? Let us know.
I did a little exercise. I did a little live coaching exercise the other day, and it was amazing. I've got basically it's 11-step. I must change it. 11-step sounds odd. I've got an 11-step process, and I took them through on this live webinar. And one of the guys just came back to me afterwards. He said, wow, he can't believe he's been holding something so long, and he managed to release it during the webinar. So
wow. Okay, so it can be that.
It can be, but you got to be ready for forgiveness. You know, after something bad has happened, you can't forgive straight away. You've got to process it. You know, for me, it took me 14 years to forgive the rapist.
Wow.
A business partner who betrayed me, it took me about 2 years to forgive him. So it depends on where you are in your healing journey.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I'm just covered in goosebumps, I have to say. All right, I'm going to share some of the comments that are coming in. So right now, I'm all caught up on forgiveness.
Good.
So you're very aware right now where you are. I just want to see who that is because we can't see from... So that's JD Brown. Jade, where are you in the world? I know you're a global traveler, so you're caught up on forgiveness. And she also wrote that I just posted a mini video on forgiveness yesterday. Wow, Jade.
Where do we find
please drop the link for us so that we can engage with you there, because this is clearly a topic that is front and center right now. And then Anne shares, people who've hurt my loved ones, much harder than forgiving people who hurt me. That's interesting. Yeah.
It is interesting.
That is interesting.
But you can still work through it. You can still work through it on your own, and if possible with the loved ones.
Okay. And would the process be more or less the same as if you were doing your own work?
The process is forgiveness pretty much the same, yeah. Because it's all based around your own emotions and what you're feeling.
All right. Okay, your own emotions, of course. And so speaking of that, somebody has written, I'm just going to see who it is, forgiving myself for letting other people doubt me.
Yeah, definitely.
Kim Brits, myself, for letting other people doubt me.
Very true. Self-forgiveness can be very, very difficult because you've got all that blame and guilt and shame and all those other emotions that go with it.
And she reiterated saying that those people make her doubt herself. So she's got to forgive herself for doubting herself as a result. Okay.
Yeah.
And Alison has shared, hi Alison. Alison has shared that I forgive others faster than I forgive myself. So that's the antithesis of, almost the antithesis of what Anne was saying about forgiving people who have hurt other people, like I forgive others faster than I forgive myself. Sure. And then somebody else has shared, I struggle to forgive myself around my chronic conditions as I feel like it has something to do with my lifestyle choices. That's Sunena.
Yeah, chronic conditions, I don't know if any of you have worked on the journey with Brandon Bays, but she's really well worth following to help you with chronic conditions.
Okay, that's useful. Thank you, Sunena. I hope you take note of what Lois has shared there. So that was quite a can of worms question that you posed to the viewers. If you're watching the replay here and something came up in response to that question, please write your question in the comments beneath the video, and we'll direct them to Lois so that she can give you some input there. Alrighty, so let us go to the next question. So let's hide that one. The next one is, Ken, I'm about halfway on my coffee. So this is a question. Oh, yours is finished. Okay. This is now a question in the other direction. Okay, so this is the opportunity for the audience to ask Lois a question. So if you've got any questions that you would like Lois to answer, please pop them in the comments section right now, and then she will answer. So I can take a little coffee break because I'm off duty. I'm off question duty here.
It's nice to see Sunena. She does journey work. That's great, Sunena.
Yeah. And now we'll see how fast people can type.
They got
post your questions. Yeah, do you have any questions? You could ask Lois what she had for lunch, if that's the extent of your question. Yesterday's lunch. Oh my goodness, I'm just going to stretch my leg here. Okay, we'll count it down. If there's no questions from the audience, then we're going to move on to the next one.
Sure.
Let us know.
I've been let off lightly.
It seems so. It seems so. I think you're smooth. You're sailing so smoothly through all the other questions that you're answering everything they've got. All right, I'm going to move on. Then we can come back to questions if typing is the bottleneck over here. Okay, next one. Quest. All right, I think you might have touched on this already, but let's reiterate because clearly it warrants being reiterated. What's your big vision? Why do you do what you do, and why is it so important? Okay, and we'll come back to the questions that are now coming in. You're a very slow typist, or maybe it's a delay in the video. Okay, so let's answer the quest one.
My quest is to eradicate sexual violence. Did you get that?
Love it. Yeah. And that's a no-brainer as to why that's so important.
But my new project that I'm starting on now is called, we can't teach men not to rape or to hurt women, because if we, and to teach women to protect themselves, if these things worked, we would have eradicated sexual violence by now. So nothing's working what we're doing. So I've come up with a concept, let's rather teach men to be brave. So the brave is B stands for boundaries, understand what boundaries are. And it's not only men, women as well. Respect, the R is respect. You can see I love acronyms. A is agreement, understand, consent. V is your values and your vulnerability. The men should be vulnerable as well. And E is about empowerment, equality, and empathy. So I'm starting a project on how to teach boys and men in particular, girls and women as well, how to be brave, to eradicate sexual violence.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. And where are you launching that, or where will people be able to get on top of that?
I want to run it as a summit. I ran a summit in March, just before this whole COVID thing broke around our heads. I ran a 5-day summit with 43 speakers around the world called Rape and Resilience, Triumphing Over Trauma. It was fantastic, but it just hit at the wrong time. It broke literally as lockdown and all those things started. So I want to do another one, but on Brave, and I want to get speakers as well from around the world to talk.
Amazing.
But it's a lot of hard work and a lot of time with no financial reward.
But I mean, that's what a quest is about, right? Is that the impact is more. It's more the change that you will make, the legacy that you'll leave, the people you will help. That's amazing. Wow, mind is blown. That's fantastic. Thank you. That's a very admirable quest. And so we're going to just backtrack here. We've got some questions. Anne says she wants to hear more about Brave. So after the call, we'll be sure to leave all the links that Lois has mentioned. We'll leave them beneath the video. And the questions that came up very slowly. First one is, what is most fulfilling in your career?
Sure, everything is fulfilling in my career. I think when I coach or teach, I think the most fulfilling thing is when I see the lights go on behind the eyes, when somebody gets it, whatever it is that they need to get. I think that is just so rewarding. But going back in history, one of my careers was marketing. And when you have a successful product launch, that is also just so fulfilling and rewarding. And my claim to fame in my past life was, for the South Africans here, Tempo chocolate.
Oh,
that was my baby.
Wow.
I gave birth to Tempo. So,
oh my goodness.
So that was just probably one of the highlights in my life, was just the success of that, which was phenomenal. So.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. And then the other question that came in was, what is your writing process?
Well, as I mentioned, I started writing from day one. And when my book comes out and you see it, you'll see it's written as a journal. Because it is immediate and it's impactful. It's raw. And so I think the power in it is that it is just how I felt day by day. It's had to cut a lot of stuff out because there's a lot of wada throughout the book. But it took me, I was going to publish so many times, and I couldn't find a conclusion to the book. And then when I forgave in 2009, I was going to publish then because that was the obvious conclusion. And for various reasons, I just never got round to it. I was living out the country at the time, and long story. Anyway, and now that I'm back in South Africa, I just decided it's time to do it. And it's changed from being just a journal after each, and it's quite complicated to read because each chapter has extracts from the journal, so it's not a chronological story anymore, but each chapter has a reflection and a lesson or a message, so it can be used as a self-help guide as well.
Beautiful. We're so excited to read this book when it comes out. You got to choose your cover today. Okay. And there was another question here. Lois, do you teach this through schools? If you educate through the schools about respect and bravery, it may have a stronger effect in the long term and in society.
That is my objective. This is all brand new. I just started working on this. I came up with a concept about a month ago. And so I've got a lot of work to do. And if anyone's got contacts with schools and things, I'd love support. Anybody who wants to get involved in this project, I'd love it. Yes, please.
That'd be amazing. Please share far and wide and drop comments or links in the comments down below. And Anne just wanted to say thank you for her Tempo. It's her absolute favorite.
It's discontinued now. They got rid of it.
Sure. And then Alison said that is so inspiring because I wrote a book in 2016, also waiting for a conclusion. And you've given me hope, she says.
Great.
Fantastic. Good.
Just go for it. Just go for it.
Glad you're here to hear that, Alison. Okay, I've got about 3 sips left, so we will carry on with the questions. Completed is the question that we're asking now. And that says, what's the thing you're most proud of completing?
I think the Tempo story, and then my book, even though it's not quite completed, I think it's been a long time coming. So it's reaching completion. So
it's reaching there. Fabulous. Yeah, you should totally be proud of that. Okie dokes. Next one. Caterpillar. Okay, the question for Caterpillar is, describe the caterpillar journey of your average client.
Well, after going through an adversity or some kind of trauma or change that's been inflicted on you rather than of choice, some kind of crisis or challenge, you go into victim mode. And victim mode is all those hate, fear, depression, all those negative emotions. And it's important that you have those emotions because they all serve a purpose. Denial, doubt, shame, guilt, all of those emotions, they need to be there, and you need to experience those emotions. You then go into the struggle mode. And that's the survivor mode. And a lot of people call themselves survivors. I survived a rape. I survived a job loss. I survived an accident. But the word survivor actually says struggle, and it's where you're struggling to come to terms with what you've experienced. And so you go through struggle. And for me, the struggle was I became an activist after I was raped. I led marches through the streets of Cape Town, and I got lobbies and petitions, and I wanted to change the world. And that's part of the healing process, is that you go through that struggle, that survivor mode. After that, you start developing your resilience, and that is when you never quite bounce back to where you were before, but you return to some kind of a meaningful life. And then the next step is grit. You develop grit, and that's where you get future focus. You start setting objectives and goals and aspirations, and then you become a thriver. You start achieving some level of success. But this journey is like this. It's not
linear.
It's not a circular journey. It really is like this. You can jump back and fall down at any time on the journey. And then you become the thriver, and then you develop your growth mindset. What have I learned from this experience? Where have I grown? How have I developed? How can I use what I've learned in my life or through this experience? And then you give back, and that's a benefit mindset. And so many survivors move into this benefits phase where they start giving back. So many people start businesses or support groups or whatever. And a lot of people never get there either. So they stay down in the survivor mode. And then the final step then is freedom, which you get through your forgiveness.
Oh, that is profound. Profound. My goodness, your clients are blessed to have their paths cross with you.
Thank you.
That is fantastic. The clearly your quest is, so clearly defined, front and center, and that was profound. I'm sure everybody watching is finding that very, very valuable. Thank you for sharing the process. Let me just see what comments we're getting. Casey here, I totally agree with you, Lois. I've always thought the term survivor still speaks of what was. Yeah. And another one, I like the point about survivor mentality. Absolutely. That's a reframe I've never considered before. So, yeah, there's a little light bulb of awareness going off there. And somebody else is saying, so beautiful, Lois. Thank you. Fantastic. Okay, 2 sips left. Let's go for the next one. Right, so we're going to hide the caterpillar question. Next one. Comfort zone. Oh, that's a goodie. So the question here is, what's the most recent comfort zone you stretched and what was the outcome?
I actually live in my comfort zone, which is exactly the opposite of a comfort zone. I'm a risk taker, a huge risk taker, and I'm out there. I'm an adventurer, an explorer, a traveler, and I get my family members always saying, "No, she shouldn't be doing these things." You know, I left South Africa. I went to Oman in the Middle East. I went purely on a whim, no knowledge. I mean, my brother-in-law still said to me, "Do you know there's no water there?" And I said, "Who cares? People live there." And so I just go, and then I travel to countries like Iran and Iraq, and countries that, and I traveled on my own mostly, and most people are just terrified of that. And I've had the most extraordinary, wonderful experiences as a result.
Oh, that is just like the absolute like poster for getting out of your comfort zone, living in your discomfort zone. Like you said, you live in your discomfort zone. Yeah, those experiences. Imagine you'd missed out on all of that had you stayed safe and familiar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've just had an extraordinary life. It hasn't always
That's
been
amazing.
easy, but I'm out there. I'm big. I keep saying I'm big and bold and brave.
That's wonderful. My goodness, that's a lesson for so many people to, just go and do it. Just go and do it. You only get one life after all. Awesome answer. Okay, let's go for the next one is creativity. And that question is, what is your creative outlet of choice and how does it impact your productivity?
Well, I think I'm creative in my ideas. I'm not artistic in any way, but I come up with ideas all the time in terms of for example, tempo. My SMILE acronym, my BRAVE acronym. I do have creative ideas. And let me just see if I can show you, for example, my business card. This is my business card.
Oh, cute.
And it says, open to see grit and resilience. And then you open it up.
That's so cute.
So and I don't even know where the ideas come from. So I love and I write. I dabble a little bit. I wouldn't call it poetry, call it rhyme.
Okay.
And so where do I get it from? I don't know. I don't know.
You just allow. Yes,
I let it come in.
Beautiful. I love that. Okay, now I'm on to my last sip. So we'll make that our last well, we're going to do one more question. So last sip first. Okay, and then last question. Cringe. Good one to end on. What do you cringe about, or what still makes you cringe when you think of it?
Oh, I don't think I could share some of those stories.
A PG rating required.
I think the one that maybe I shouldn't speak about, but it's not as cringeworthy for public viewing, is I have just been a bad financial manager my whole life. I've just never, I'm living at the moment in my niece's lounge. This is my home, and I literally live in the lounge. And I've never worried about tomorrow. I live for today, and I've never taken care of my financial situation. I just traveled. I just spent all my money traveling and had a great life. But suddenly, at age 66, I found, oops, I've got a problem here.
I think a lot of people can probably relate.
Yeah, so it's that's something I shouldn't talk about.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like the realness of it is what people connect to, and that it is what, like when we show up and we shine and we talk about things that are real, like you are that person. You speak about very traumatic things that have happened to you that a lot of people would have tried to hide and cover up and not ever mention, because of, I don't know, shame and conditioning of being judged and all these things. And it's a very real conversation to have. And that the more people that have the conversation, the more healing there is around it. So I don't think that's something that's cringe. I mean, yeah, you've got to do things about it. But yeah, you'll probably find a lot more support than you realize. And Anne says she can relate. So you're not alone. You're not alone. Can totally relate. And to be quite honest, I'm also like explorer and adventure, and I'd rather go out on worldwide adventures than invest or learn about investing as well. So I can also put up my hand to that. Perhaps it's the adventurous spirit in us. Okie dokie. So coffee cup is empty. So that brings the conversation to a close. This has been such a phenomenal talk, such a phenomenal chat. Thank you so much, Lois, for sharing with us so openly and honestly and authentically, vulnerably. I think you've probably had a massive impact on those who are watching. I know that what you've shared with me today has been incredibly inspiring. A number of goosebump moments. Is there anything that you would like to share to wrap up this conversation? An invitation to anybody who's watching this live or watching the replay?
Oh, well, first of all, just thank you. I think it's a lovely concept you have here, and I could have gone on answering questions for another hour. So I created a little while back a book called Ignite Your Mojo, How to Get Your Passion Back, and it's just a little ebook which is free. So if anybody wants it, I can post the link under this when it's over. It's just I created a mind map and some ideas. So it's almost like a checklist of things you can do to get your happiness, your mojo back, your passion back.
Beautiful. So, is that on your website?
No, it's not. I'll post the link. I'll post the link below. I use it as a lead magnet for my summits and stuff like that. So I'll put it here. And what was your question?
Is there anything else, any parting thoughts that you would like to share with somebody watching this video?
I think just basically that whatever it is you're going through, you're not alone. There's always somebody out there. There's some healing modality. There are so many, and not everything works for everybody. You need to go out and find what suits you, and don't get upset if the first one doesn't work. There's another one. There's many. There's thousands of different modalities and processes that you can use. So don't get disheartened if you don't. And it is a journey. Your life is a journey. Your healing is a journey. And you go at it at your own pace. Don't compare yourself to other people and where they are in their healing journey. It's your story, and you need to live it at your own pace in your own way.
Such wise words. Thank you so much. That's a beautiful way to end this conversation. And if anybody is wanting to watch the replay of this, it will be in the Facebook group, but also over on the Cafinnated.com blog. So you can go and watch that. And I want to encourage you to go and start following Lois. Start with her website over there so that you can learn more about what it is that she's doing. Make sure to head on over to her Facebook page so that you can go and vote for her book cover to help her today. She needs to get that out today. So go and vote. And then also follow the link that Lois will put down to go and get your hands on that ebook. It's going to be super, super helpful. And if you would like to be in the seat where Lois is over there, then make sure that you go and register. These we're booked out till January. There's only so many Fridays in a year, and we're booked out to January already.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah, you're going to have to get on there quickly. And lastly, just a massive, massive thank you, Lois. This has been such a wonderful chat. I've loved getting to know more about you and your journey, and I can feel the impact of the ripples that you're making. So thank you.
Thank you very much. If you give me 2 seconds, I'll just post this in the, where are you? In the comments, but I closed. Oh, there we go. I'll just post this link. How do you do that?
So you'll have to do it in Facebook, in the Facebook group. Are you a member of the Cafinnated group?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we'll have to do it after the fact.
All highly technical and complicated.
It's okay. We journey on this technical journey together. And just to share with you some lovely comments that are coming. Thanks, Emil. Beautiful interview. I'll catch up on the earlier bit on the replay. And Anne says, thank you. And thanks for a great talk. And Alison, lovely getting to know you, Lois. Thanks, Abby, for another great interview. I'm loving this format. Please, can you book me in for the next available one? Yay! Wonderful. We'll do that. All righty then. So we will see you in the comments section in the Facebook group. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you again, Lois. Have a wonderful day.
Well, thanks, everybody. Bye. Bye.